Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we are looking at the Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike rack here on our 2018 Audi Q5. Now the Kuat Transfer is one of my favorite bike racks when it comes to something that is economically priced but also really easy to use, especially with its unique goal post design. One of the features it has is it can tilt away, so we're going to take a look at that. What I like to do actually is to put the hook over here to the side so you can see how I have this full space to step in, and then I can either step on that or press on it with my foot. So we'll just step on that lever and then this will tilt down, and you'll want to do that if you want to access your hatch. As you can see here on our car, there's so much space between our door and our handlebars, and that means we can get into our trunk, maybe grab our bags, grab our water, grab our helmets, all without having to take our bike off, which also means we can get out onto the trail a lot quicker. And then when you're done with that, you can just lift it back into place and it snaps back into place. Another thing about this goal post design is if you have the 2-inch shank version, you have a bit more weight capacity and the ability to expand up to 4 bikes. This has a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. So for your normal bikes, like your mountain bikes, your road bikes, or just your average bike, it's more than enough weight capacity. If you have a heavy electric bike though, please check out the 2-inch solid shank version. Let's talk about how our bike is mounted to this bike rack. So first in front, we have this front wheel clamp. I really like the front wheel clamp design because I have a carbon fiber frame bike here. And because of this, I don't have to worry about accidentally warping my frame. Also, if I have a women's bike or a children's bike or even a step-through bike, this makes it so much more convenient and easy to use because then I don't have to get a frame adapter bar. But when you want to take the bike off, you would start here at the back. So press that lever. There's on a rear wheel strap here. So release that strap, put it to the side so it's not in the way, and then come over here to the front. Here at the front, please hold on to your bike as you do so that you don't allow it to tilt back, and then you just press this button right here, lift up on that hook, push it out of the way, and then it's just a slight lift and you are ready to go on a bike ride. With the bike out of the way, let's take a closer look at our cradles. In the back we have this rear wheel cradle, and this tilts back and forth to accommodate different wheelbases. The longest wheelbase this can accommodate is 50 inches long. You also have this ratcheting strap. So the cradle itself can accommodate tire widths of up to 5 inches, but you are going to have to purchase the larger strap or longer strap to secure it, because once it's in place, this then ratchets down to secure that rear wheel. Coming here to the front, you have a large front wheel cradle as well. This can also tilt back and forth once you adjust it for those wheel bases. You have that front wheel clamp or front wheel mount that I was talking about. This has a slight padding on the inside to help secure those wheels as it ratchets down. Now you do have some options for it. What I like to do is to put them on the outside. That way we have this entire goalpost design free and clear. But if you find it's a little bit too wide, you can put it on the inside as well. It's really up to you. Make this your bike rack. But when you do have a bike rack on your vehicle, there is a bit of length added to the back of it. So let's take some measurements to see what you have to work with. So you measure from the rear bumper and then bring it all the way to the end of the bike rack. So here we have it at 35¼ inches. That's pretty normal for a 2-bike bike rack. It's a little bit long, but it is something that you're gonna remember when you have to back into your garage or park into a really tight spot. Let's also talk about ground clearance while we're here. Our ground clearance underneath the tray to the ground is 19 inches. And then underneath the shank to the ground is 13¼ inches. So with a ground clearance like that, it's a good thing you have that shank rise, because then your bikes are sitting higher off the ground, especially when you go up on steep inclines like driveways or hills. You're gonna wanna know your ground clearance to make sure they don't hit the ground. And then when you're traveling around town and you don't have your bikes with you, but you still want to carry your bike rack, what you can do is fold this up. To do so, you press that lever and then you fold the bike rack up into its portable position. Let's take some measurements again. Measuring from our bumper to the end of the bike rack, it's 11 inches. Now the lever does stick out a little bit further, so that's going to be at 13 inches. For the closest point between our bike rack and our vehicle will be the bumper to that front wheel cradle, and that's a lot of clearance at 5 inches. As for how this sits on our vehicle in the folded position, you can see our rear windshield is completely open, as are our taillights. They're completely visible. Now the backup camera is right here above the license plate, and because the goalpost is like that, you have almost a complete view out of your backup camera. Our license plate as well is also completely visible, which is rare for platform racks that fold up, which is great because that means you're going to be safe and legal on the road with this bike rack. Let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this version has an 1.25 inch shank with a 2-inch hitch adapter. There's another version that looks exactly and works exactly the same way this does, with a solid 2-inch shank that's going to have a bit more weight capacity. So check out what you're interested in. And it has a hitch pin and a clip. Now it doesn't have a lock, but that's because it uses a tool, a security wrench, to tighten it down. That's the only downside of this bike rack. I prefer the knobs that you can find on the Sherpa or the NV, but this makes it a more economical bike rack, and it still works. Because with that tightened down with that wrench, as you can see, as I shake the bike rack, I'm mainly shaking the vehicle at that point. So it shows how there is a snug contact there, takes out the rattle, takes out the sway. Any of that vibration you're going to feel is going to come from the road and not from an improper fit into the hitch, making for a smoother ride for your bicycles. Alright, so my final thoughts about this bike rack on our Audi Q5 is I love that gold post design. I tried some different bike racks and most of them covered that license plate. This is the only one I've seen so far that keeps that open. It's also nice because it makes it easier to mount and dismount your bikes with that gold post design. So that was a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 2 bike rack here on our 2018 Audi Q5.